We're going to get started. So thank you for coming and joining us on this Wednesday. My name is Joshua. I know many of you, but some of you I don't. This is Ryan.
Hello.
So today, CLA IT, we're going to cover working from home. And we want to give you some tips, tricks, things like that for working from home.
So I want to talk a little bit why are we doing this. So the work culture, kind of the workplace, has changed a lot in the last 10 years. I mean, even since I've been here as a student at Purdue, more and more things are accessible, whether you're working here at Purdue's campus or whether you're working from home. So a lot of people we see throughout the year regularly, which is great. But a lot of people, they work from home a lot and they check in from time to time with us. So we want to just kind of tell you what services we provide for you and kind of give you some guidelines on how to connect back to Purdue to access the resources that you need at Purdue. We're always working on ways to improve and streamline the process. So if you think of an idea, let me know. Let one of us know on the team because we always want to improve the way that we support you guys. So anytime you do meet with us for the first time, especially people who are new faculty hires or staff, always have them come see us first because we kind of want to get a little background what their research is, how they're teaching, where they're going to be at. A lot of the software now at Purdue depends on if you're going to be researching out in the field, right, for a year, or if you're going to be here on campus. So it's always encouraged to, give us a call, and we can set up an appointment and say, okay, what are your needs going to be, and where are you going to be working?
Yeah, you don't want to be in Spain and then find out that you needed a piece of software that you happen to call us. We're trying to do it remotely. It can be extremely difficult sometimes. We just can't do it. So it's always a good idea to meet with us first, kind of determine what you're going to need for working away from Purdue's campus. So the first thing we're going to talk about is when to connect to the VPN. Whenever you're remote from home, there are times that you're going to have to connect back to Purdue. We will ask you to use what's called a VPN connection. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It is a secure connection directly from your device away from campus back to Purdue's network. That way you can transmit files and folders and things like that securely without anybody interrupting you. So there are times when to connect to the VPN and times that you don't have to. Most of the time you actually won't have to. The few times that you will have to, though, one of the big ones is if you need to access your personal or your network or departmental shares or your drives. Those are actually stored here on Purdue's servers. Another aspect for that is like your W drive. Many people don't know that on Windows PCs, your documents, pictures, folders, things of those nature are actually redirected to Purdue servers. So if you have a Windows laptop and you take it home, if you're not connected on the VPN, you can't access your files. A lot of people don't find out until they actually get home and figure that out. So in order to do that, you actually have to connect on the VPN first, and then there's a way to connect, and we'll show you those here in just a second on how to access those files. Another reason you would need to connect to the VPN is if for some reason you had to change your password. We all know password changes are a way of our life, and it can be a bane sometimes. One of those is if you're at home and you absolutely have to change your password right now, you have to connect on the VPN first. Our number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is come to campus to change your password first, though. And unless there's an absolute need to do it at home, you really shouldn't. You should wait till you're in your office, plugged in on a hardwire. Even if it's a laptop, it's best to be plugged in on the hardwire to change your password. And it's always best to do it here, not at home. But when it comes to the VPN and changing your password, there's a myriad of things with that. I mean, it all depends on whether you're using a personal device versus a Purdue device. Are you using the desktop at home that you just bought, or are you using a laptop that Purdue provided for you? And again, laptop or desktop, depends. Do not change a password if you're currently logged into a system back here at Purdue. If you happen to walk away from the office, your office computer, and you go home to work on your personal device, your laptop, you're connecting back here, do not change a password. The reason for that is that if you lock or walk away from your computer here at campus, that computer is still logged in using the credentials that you logged into it with. So if you go home and change your password, this system's still going to be using that old password all day long, and it's going to keep locking your account out. And you're going to keep calling us.
So if you're working from home that day, you can call us at our service desk number, and then we can remote to your machine, your desktop, and we can restart it for you. So that would be a situation, you could say, hey Ryan, I'm working at home today. I changed my password on my laptop, like Josh said, through the VPN. Can you reset my computer for me? Because that way that old password won't lock you out of your account.
Downside to that is if you had any Word or Excel documents open, when we kick you out of the system, it'll kick you out, so nothing will be saved. So that's always, it's a good thing to keep in your mind that another reason not to change your password is home. Another reason you may connect to the VPN though, we found recently, very recently, you may have to be connected to the VPN in order to use Outlook. That is not always the case. We found that it actually kind of depends on the service provider that you're connected to at home or in the hotel Wi-Fi or something like that. But so if you're trying to use Outlook on your laptop, trying to access your email, and you notice that they're not syncing up, you may actually have to connect to the VPN first in order for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, the last thing, yes, the VPN. If you have to call us for support and we need to remote into your computer, we will have to ask you to connect on the VPN in order to do that. That's the only way we can remote into your computer off-site. So now we're going to cover how to connect to the VPN and how to install it in case you have to. It's really easy. I'm going to cover the PC side first. That is the one that we have primarily for Windows computers. So to connect to the VPN, the first thing we'll do is click the Start button, and we're going to look for a folder that says Cisco. Cisco spelled with C-I-S-C-O. In this case, it's not there. So in order to access it, we're going to open a web browser. We're going to go to webvpn.purdue.edu. When that comes up, you'll log in with your career account credentials that you get your Purdue course. Same account you use to log in your computer. And when this comes up, there's a link right in the middle that says AnyConnect VPN. We're going to download that software. As you saw, it's very quick. We install it. It's a very small piece. This is a very basic. You just click Next, accept the license agreement, install. That's it.
You want to talk about admin rights there too?
So, yeah, something else that may happen, and it's a really good idea with the Cisco VPN to do it here on campus first before you get home to try this. Because in some cases, you actually have to have administrative privileges on your computer in order to install this software. Well, if you're at home and you don't have that on the Purdue device that you have, you're going to have to call us to do it. We can't remote in because we need the VPN first in order for that to happen. So it's a good idea to do that beforehand. But once this finishes installing, click Finish, and the VPN's installed. That's all there is to it. So now we go back to the Start button again. We go looking for the Cisco AnyConnect client. You'll type in webvpn.purdue.edu. Now once you've put it in there once, it'll remember it. So you only have to do it the first time. Log in with your career account credentials, and you're connected. That's it. It may, sometimes like this, pop up wanting to do an install, but the install is usually pretty quick as well. You can see connected to WebVPN in the corner. There's an icon down here that looks like a little white globe with a little yellow gold lock on it. That's the Cisco AnyConnect client. You can highlight over it or click on it to see that you're connected. And if you want, you can connect, do whatever you need to do, grab the files that you need, and then immediately go back down there and disconnect if you want. There isn't any harm in staying connected. So the second part of this is once you're connected on the VPN, if you want to access your shared documents or your W drive back here at Purdue. So we're going to cover how to connect to your map drives on a PC. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go into File Explorer. You have the icon here. I have it as the yellow envelope down here in the bottom, a little file folder. Or you can click the Start button, and it's the file folder icon there on the left. When you go to this PC on your computer, sometimes you'll see this red X on the icon. That means that the map drive or your network drive was disconnected. It'll show that even after you connect to the VPN because it kind of has to be refreshed. If you connect on the VPN first and then you go here and see this, you can simply click on it, it'll automatically refresh and it'll open your files and you're good to go. But we're going to continue on as if it's not there. So if you don't see your mapped drive that you're looking for, you can right click on this PC and choose Map Network Drive. From there, you can choose the drive letter that you want. Probably best to stick to the one that you're most familiar with. In this case, I did my W drive, my Purdue home path. The path for the W would be / myhome.itap.purdue.edu /myhome / your username. Now in this case, that is the same for everybody. That is the path for your W drive.
Yeah, everybody at Purdue has a W drive, right? So whether you're a student, whether you're a grad student, whether you're a staff member, whether you're a graduate, anybody, all staff, faculty. The nice thing about this W drive is you can access it in the classroom too. So that's pretty useful. You can work on stuff at home. You can put files in your W drive, which is this drive. Then you can, if you're giving a presentation, if you're having a luncheon or somewhere, you can access this drive anywhere on Purdue's campus.
So now the W drive is the same for everybody else. Your network shares are extremely different between different departments, schools, and everything. So in that case, we can give you the W drive, and this will be on the video like we're saying now for YouTube, but if you need to access your network drives or your department shares, you can simply call us and we can give you that information for what that path is for whichever folder that you need to access when you're away from here. This will work whether you're on a personal device or Purdue's device or anything like that. The one thing to keep in track though is that, or keep in mind, is if you're doing it on your personal device at home, you can run through this. You'll have to check this box here that says connect using different credentials. Because your home computer is going to think or try to connect using whatever you log into your home computer with, not your Purdue information. But if you do this at home, you'll want to check that box and you'll click finish. You'll get another box prompting you for your Purdue credentials. You'll enter those credentials, and at the bottom of that box will be a checkbox that says to remember my credentials. Do not do that on a personal device. The main reason for that, other than a bunch of security reasons, is because when it comes time to change your password, you're going to have a whole lot of problems with your account locking out until we figure out that, it's saved on your home computer and it's still trying to use that account. So do not do that at home. But past this, we're going to click finish and I should get my W drive. And it'll open automatically. You can see all of my documents here at Purdue. And Ryan is going to go ahead and cover the Windows PC, or the Mac side.
All right, so I'm going to cover the Mac side. Basically the same thing that Josh did, except on the Mac platform. So basically this is my machine here. And what I'll do is I'm going to start Finder, and then I'm going to go to Applications, and I don't have Cisco yet. I need Cisco because I need to get my computer back on the Purdue's campus through VPN. So I don't have it. So I'm going to go to the web, and I'm going to go to webvpn.purdue.edu, which is the same website on a PC or Mac. So you go to the same place in your web browser. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to enter my username and password for Purdue. And I'm going to download this DMG right here. And we're going to install the Cisco Interconnect. So after that is done, we will get on the VPN. Notice there's my admin password. If you don't have admin rights, we'll set all this up for you beforehand on your Purdue Mac. You would have admin rights on your own personal Mac. So once it's installed, I'm going to hit Cisco and I'm going to type in webvpn.purdue.edu. I'm going to hit connect. Type in my Purdue password one more time. And there we go. It's going to show up with the gold lock up in the top. And now I am virtually back on Purdue's campus. So I'm going to show you how to get to a network drive now, or departmental share. So on a Mac, you'd go up here in the menu, you'd go to Go, and connect to server. It's the very bottom one. And then I'm going to type in SMB, and we can pause it here so you can write it down. SMB://myhome.itap.purdue.edu/myhome/ your username. So Macs, you're going to have forward slashes in there. On the PC side, you're going to have backslashes, the other one. So just keep that in mind.
The other thing on a Mac is you'll notice that he hit the plus sign next to it when he was finished, and that dropped it down here into this list for favorite servers. It's really nice because the next time that you go to use this, when you open this prompt, like he showed, you can go and connect the server, and for your keyboard shortcut for that, it's Command K. But this will already be there, so you can simply just click on that link at the bottom and hit the connect button, and it'll be saved for you, so you don't have to constantly keep typing that one in on Mac.
Right. So I'm going to hit connect and see what happens here. So it's going to say, hey, you're attempting to connect to my home, and you have to hit connect again. And then there you go. There's my W drive. If I need to get to it again on the Mac, you can go to your computer itself. I'm going to show you here in a minute. If you want an overview, kind of like my PC on Windows, it's going to be right here. So that is how you connect your map drives on a Mac. We got one more slide for you.
So the other thing is, so we talked about the W drive and how everybody has a W drive here at campus, and then many people have network and drive shares. The W drive, though, many people don't know, is about 5 gig in size. There's a handful of cases where it might be slightly larger, but not significantly larger. The other alternative is actually to use OneDrive. OneDrive is a full terabyte, so it's 200 times the size of your W drive now. And the nice thing about OneDrive is that you can put all your documents and files on there, and you don't have to connect to the VPN to get back here to get to it.
Right.
You don't even have to have an internet connection. So if you have OneDrive installed on your computer and have moved all of your files into it, it has synced on your computer and it's in the cloud. And if you have your laptop somewhere without an internet connection, well, you'll still have all those local files saved on your computer. So you can save and create files and make changes to the ones that you have. And then when you do get an internet connection, they will just sync up to OneDrive. And none of that process requires the VPN at all. So it's an alternative that we're really trying to push. We really want people to use it. There are still instances where the W drive, it's definitely not going away or anything like that, because there's definitely instances where the W drive comes in handy, and it actually is required for certain things. If you do any kind of archiving out of your email, we have found that it's best to actually put the archive in the W drive and not OneDrive. It can cause issues if you do. It's not impossible, but it can cause issues. And OneDrive is still not approved for restricted or confidential data. So if you have any of that kind of information that you have to deal with, you cannot put it on OneDrive, but you can still put it in your W drive. So OneDrive is a very good alternative to not even having to use the VPN for those matters anyway. The other thing that we want to just stress was the password thing that we had talked about, changing your password from home. Again, we highly do not recommend doing it, but there are ways to do it if you absolutely have to. And there's instances for it. If you feel that you're away and your account has been compromised, then yes, by all means, we want you to change your password to prevent any issues. But we got a couple of links here. We actually already did whole nother series on passwords. There's a 2-part video that covers dual authentication and passwords on the YouTube channel for CLA IT. So, well, thank you for coming. Of course, you can always reach out to us, extension 66333, or email us at ithelp@purdue, and we'll take care of anything that you need.